Most people do not lose control of money because they're stupid. They lose control because they never clearly see where their money is going. Welcome to Valkyrie Simple Finance. My name is Gerard, and today we're going to talk about how to write your first budget. Firstly, it's important to realize that a budget is not a punishment. It is simply a plan. And once you create your first real budget, your financial life starts becoming much less stressful. So, what do we mean by a budget? A budget is simply a system that tells your money where to go before you spend it accidentally. It's a plan for the future. Without a budget, money disappears quietly on such things as subscriptions, takeaways, impulse spending, small purchases that seem harmless. And before you know it, you're halfway through the month and you are rapidly running out of money. Then you scrape together enough to keep you until the end of month payday and repeat the whole thing the next month. A budget gives every dollar a job and helps you understand where the money should go and how you can not only make sure that it lasts the whole month, but also set aside some for an emergency fund and for savings and investments. The first step is simple. Calculate how much money you actually receive every month after taxes, not before taxes. That's not money you have. Not theoretical income. That might be what you'd like to earn, but it's not what you can actually spend yet. The money that actually reaches your bank account. Now, if your income changes monthly, estimate conservatively using your lower average months, and anything that you get more than that, you can consider it a bonus. After that, list your essential expenses. These are bills that you must pay to live and work. Housing, be that rent or home loan. Food. Look at how much you spend on food in the last 3 months and average it to a monthly amount. Gas, electric, water, any monthly local tax, or under the umbrella of utilities. Transport. If you own a car, then that will be fuel costs. And then insurance, car insurance, life insurance, health insurance, home insurance. Also debt repayments, credit cards, personal loans, etc. Remember to include those payments that are not actually paid every month. Annual subscriptions or car and home maintenance, tuition fees. You need to include an amount in your monthly budget to cover these. So take the periodic payment and divide it by the number of months that it covers. And this should be the monthly amount included in your budget for that item. Now, this is where many people get their first financial shock because they discover their essential spending is far higher than they thought. However, don't be discouraged. Once you start to measure your expenses, you are much better able to manage them. Now comes the category that people usually underestimate, the part that usually causes them to be broke at the end of the month. The lifestyle spending, small purchases that feel harmless individually, but repeated over weeks and months, they become enormous. A few coffees. Think about how much you spend a week on those few coffees. Now, multiply that weekly number by 52, and that's how much those few coffees cost you a year. Some of that could be money you save. The same with streaming subscriptions. Go through, find out what they are. Delete the ones you don't need. Eating out. Impulse online purchases. This is where tracking becomes powerful. One of the biggest financial mistakes people make is saying that they will save whatever is left at the end of the month. which is usually nothing is left. So instead of saying you'll save what is left, pay yourself first. First, cover your essential expenses, then put aside money for your future before using the money for those lifestyle expenses. So save first, invest first, then spend what remains. Even small amounts matter. Watch my video on compound interest to understand how small amounts can really make a big difference. Consistency is far more important than perfection. A simple beginner framework is called the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and investing. It's not perfect for everyone, but it gives beginners a simple structure instead of complete chaos. So include in your budget that 20% for savings and investing. Instead of saving what you have left at the end of the month, consider it an expense. You can then use what is left after that for the next month's lifestyle expense. The next important step, having written down your budget, is to manage it. So you should write against each budget line the actual amount that you either receive if it's income or spend on each category each month. That way you can see where your money is actually going. You need to be honest with it, otherwise there's no point in doing it. Remember, this is for you, not for anyone else. So it's important to include everything on which you spend money each month. Most budgets fail for one reason. People try to become perfect overnight, and that does not work. Your first budget will be inaccurate. You will overspend in some areas, and you will have forgotten certain expenses. That's normal. Amend your budget at the end of the month to include items you've forgotten, or change the amounts if you determine that they are not correct. Your second month's budget will be better as a result. Budgeting isn't about perfection. It's about creating awareness. It's about you understanding where your money goes each month. And if it's not going where you want it to go, make those changes in your life to ensure that it does go where you want it to go. Some people find it simpler to have a separate bank account for their savings and transfer that 20% into the savings account each month right after payday. Just let that savings account build up for a while. From that, you will eventually be able to create your emergency funds, put money into longer term savings, which earn more interest, and in time, create an investment fund. That is enough to completely change your financial direction over time. A budget does not make you rich overnight, but it gives you something extremely powerful: control. Once you have gained control of your money, you can start building savings, investing, and long-term financial security. The first budget is the hardest one that you will ever create, because for the first time you are facing your financial reality clearly. But once you understand where your money's going, you gain the power to change where your future goes. After you have got your budget sorted, you can then use it to make informed financial decisions, such as how much do I spend on one particular item each month? Should I reduce expense on one item and increase it on another? Thank you for watching. If you find this video helpful in simplifying budgeting for you, please subscribe to Valkyrie Simple Finance. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.